Good morning and welcome to day 7 of quarantine. 3 more full days to go. We thank God that we've come this far. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of the highlights in the last couple of days or few days since I last vlogged. I'll tell you about some drama that almost was going to cost me £100 a night on top of the price that we're already paying. I'll tell you about the highlight, the ultimate highlight, and I think that's contributed to me feeling a little bit more comfortable where I am. And yeah, so the first thing I'm going to show you is this baby here. This baby has been doing the deed. So basically it's a warmer. So my husband told me about this warmer because he's used one before. I was quite skeptical. I was thinking, oh, can we buy a mini microwave and all that kind of stuff? But obviously, probably for safety reasons, maybe not. So we have a warmer, and this warmer. So usually, like breakfast, whenever breakfast comes, like generally the food tends to come hot. So I can't complain. Like the majority of the time the food has come hot when it needs to be hot. I think there's only one occasion where breakfast was cold, but the thing is you need to eat it straight away. So especially at the weekend where you just want to chill, or you just want to wake up at 10 o'clock and then knocking on your door at 8 o'clock, you're like, I don't want to eat yet. So today was the first time I tried it out for breakfast. So let me show you. There, like, I don't know if you can see there's a bit of, like, it is hot, like it actually warms up the food. So that's my breakfast, and the breakfast here tends to be quite good. So, and I think the fact that now it's hot, I've had a shower, I'm ready to eat my breakfast. Yeah, so that's the first update. So this is the secondary reason why we got this, but I'll tell you about the main reason, because I don't want to just tell you, I want to show you the main reason why we got this. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and have some breakfast, and then I'm going to attend church online, or find a sermon that I can listen to, and then I'll be back to tell you about the rest. I'm back. I've just watched a sermon and read my Master Life guide. So yeah, let me just show you my Master Life guide. I really love this. So I've been excuse the mess. I've been doing this with my best friend, who's the leader. And basically you go through a set of different books. So there's like a daily guide, and it's very practical. I absolutely love it. So it's just, it doesn't matter whether you're a new Christian or you've been a Christian for a long time. I'm really enjoying this guide. So yes, I was reading on it, and yeah, I listened to a sermon which was good by John Piper. The one thing I enjoyed and learned from my session today is that I think I've always, in my life as a Christian, I've always struggled with trying to understand God's purpose for my life, and this study this week is really good as just stripping away quite a lot of things and taking it back to basis. So sometimes, it made me think personally that sometimes I have been so focused on what is it that God has for me specifically, like what does God want me to do in my life specifically, and then but then sometimes I forget that it is in the word. So the one thing that is the greatest commandment is to love God with all of your heart and all of your soul and all of your body. That is a commandment, that is a life purpose. And the second thing is to love my neighbor as myself. So that in itself is a purpose, is something that I'm called to do. And so the question I now need to remember to ask myself is, are these things and are these choices that I'm making glorifying God, and are they bringing out those two commandments, to love God and to love others as myself? So it was a really good study, just stripping away those things, and then obviously looking further into what are some of the goals, or how can I practically live out a life where I am showing that I'm loving God with all of my heart, and I am loving others and myself. So yeah, so it's really good. I've really enjoyed this. I'm enjoying this Master Life class. So yeah, so back to what I was going to tell you about. So I was going to show you the highlight of the week. Like, honestly, my best friend came through, guys. It was the highlight of the week. It was so physically nourishing and emotionally satisfying. Just didn't realize how much I loved cooked food. This is the fridge. It has been stocked. When I say my best friend came through, I mean she came through. So she made us some fried rice. She made us some just plain rice to have with the beautiful ayamase. Let me just show you. Yeah, so we've eaten a lot of it. So the other half is dinner from yesterday. Wasn't bad. It was pilau rice with chicken. It wasn't bad at all. So some of it remained. Not only that, we have, this was the highlight for the week. Honestly, we have some beef here, lovely and tender. And last but not least, we have some jollof rice. Oh, it is so good. And we have some chicken wings as well, but we finished those. This came on Thursday. It was amazing. So what's happening is, if the food is something that we're not enjoying, or it's really not edible, then we'll substitute with this. So the good thing is, we're really lucky is that we have a fridge. I know that other hotels don't have a fridge, so if you don't have a fridge, then you can't really stock up on a lot. But she delivered. Honestly, guys, she came all the way, got a taxi 2 hours away to the airport to deliver this food. If that's not love, I didn't ask. I was just busy complaining. She was like, oh, I can cook you some food. I'm like, oh, you can? But I was like, no, but it's far. She's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, no, but it's far. And she's like, oh, I'm on my way. And I was like, oh, okay. How? You must be really near, because I was thinking she got a tube and she's, got a train, and she's, she's near enough for her to be able to communicate with me. Like, she wasn't underground. She was like, no, I'm in a taxi. I'm like, huh? You're in a taxi? 2 hours in London in a taxi to come to the airport? I love you. You're a true friend. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Honestly, this changed quarantine. This changed the whole idea of quarantine. I became more comfortable, more settled. I wasn't complaining as much. Although I did say that, I think the vlog before, I was like, okay, we need to look at the positive. So we started looking at the positive, and this was just like, boom, here's a positive. And guess what? So we keep it in the fridge, and so then we use this to heat it up. So I've just rinsed it, and what I'm gonna do is, so you put the food in there. The only thing is, it takes an hour to heat up the food. So you have to remember an hour before you get hungry that you want food. But it's okay, you can't complain. Like, this is the business. An hour is perfect. So yeah, I'll be back in an hour just to see how it is. And I think because I put less in it, it might not take as long. But that has revolutionized quarantine. Honestly, it has really done wonders. So she brought it Thursday. We still got quite a lot of food. Like I said, we're only using it when the food that they bring is like no. So yeah, so that was a highlight of the week. Now story time for the week. So story time, basically, I contacted the hotel because, as I mentioned before, there was no window. So it was getting to a point where in the room, like, all the different smells were happening. So either it's the food that you've eaten, or you've had a shower and it's the shower gel, or it's perfume. Well, I didn't really spray perfume as a result, or just like you just have different scents in a room where there's poor ventilation. So even though I couldn't smell it because my body's used to it, I was starting to feel nauseated. And I knew that I just needed some form of, fresh air, like regular fresh air. So I would turn the aircon on, but it wasn't perfect. So I called them and the hotel, and I was like, oh, do you have a room which has got a window? Because this one is a little bit of a struggle. They're like, no, all of our rooms not have a window, have a window that opens. So they're like, I'm sorry, all of our rooms do not have windows that open. That's just the way they are. And I was like, well, this room is quite small. Do you have a more spacious room? They were like, oh, she was very polite and very nice. She was like, we do, but you'd have to upgrade and you'd have to inquire a cost for that. So I was like, oh, okay. But she didn't know much. She was like, but anyway, even if that's the case, you need to get approval from the booking system. So we used CTM, quarantine hotel booking, like it's the central booking system. You need to get permission from them to change rooms. So so she was very polite, and so then I called them, and the gentleman was like, oh, it's fine, absolutely, just email this email. So I started this process very early, because I think day one I was like, guys, I don't think this is gonna work out. And if it means I need to pay a little bit extra for a bigger room, which is more spacious, I know I spent a lot of money, but I'm going to be here for 10 days, then it's something I might be open to. So then I called them the second time, because the email, they didn't reply. And I was like, dude, this email isn't working, blah, blah, blah. He gave me another email. I called again, I spoke to a different lady. She gave me another email. So this is third email. So by then it was Tuesday, and I was like, no, this is becoming too much. Like, it shouldn't take this long. It's not that hard for you, if and then I think one email was really promising that we'll get back to you within the hour with the changing room, but they had the wrong reference. So when I emailed back to say this is the correct reference, they didn't reply back. So I was starting to get frustrated. I was like, it shouldn't be this hard to change rooms. So then I called them. And this day, I think this was Wednesday, I called them, and this day it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare because every time I was calling, it was either they were putting me through to an incorrect dialing tone, so it would ring and then it's like someone would pick up, but there would just be noise in the background, and there'll be noise of children playing, or there'll be people speaking in a different language. So then I called back and I said, no, please don't put me through again, because I'd accepted them to put me through the second time, and it happened because I thought, oh, maybe the first time was just an error, and then the network was really bad, so they couldn't hear me, I couldn't hear them, there were kids in the background, I literally could not hear them, so it was really frustrating. And then I called again for the umpth time, literally I thought maybe it's my phone, let me try again. So I tried again, and then I got through to a very nice lady on the phone. She was really kind, and I was like, but by this time I was fuming, but I was like, look, I understand that it's not you, because I have been speaking to different people multiple times. So I understand, from what I do, where someone's really frustrated, they're not frustrated with you, they're just frustrated with what they've been through, and so it just happens to be coming to you. So I was trying my best to be cool, because I'm like, it's not her fault. This is the first time she's picking up a call from a really unhappy customer. So I'm like, I'm calling to make a complaint, because I've been trying to get hold of you guys and just asking for permission to change a room, and the hotel were telling me that I need to get permission from you. So and then she was like, no, that's not the case, you need to get the permission from the hotel. I was like, no, they told me to get hold of you. So anyway, she was like, okay, it's fine, I'll sort it out for you, we'll sort it out. So she she was like, she listened to my story, and she was like, I'm really sorry, unfortunately you can't change. I was like, what do you mean? Everybody has been telling me that I can change. But she was like, you can't change hotels. Like, oh, I'm not asking to change hotels, that's fine, I'm just asking to change a room. And they told me that there's an option to upgrade if you need to. So then she was like, oh, okay, let me speak to the person who's sorting that out. And I was like, I was like, I'm happy to wait on the phone with you. So I waited for 40 minutes while she tried to get through to this person, because I was like, I've really struggled to get through to people. And she was really nice, honestly, I can't deny, she was really good, and we could hear each other clearly, so that was really nice. And I calmed down, because I was like, well, it's not her fault. Then she got back to me. She was like, oh, I've spoken to the lady, and unfortunately, because it's been 4 days since you've stayed in that room, you cannot change rooms. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I'm sorry, but I don't think that policy does not apply to me. How can you tell me that I can't change rooms when I've been trying to change since day one? And then now it's their fault, and you're telling me we can't change. I was like, I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen. Like that yeah, I'm sorry, but that doesn't apply to me, because I've been trying, and it's your fault and it's not my fault that we haven't been able to change rooms. So she was like, I'm really sorry. And I was like, I'm really sorry, no, you need to speak to them again. So she's like, okay, I'll call them. So she was really good. She was like, I have another customer, I'll call you back. You have my word, I'll call you back. I was very skeptical, but she called me back. Excellent. She called me back, and then we chatted again. And then she was like, yeah, they've said no. The policy just says you can't change rooms after 4 days. And then I had tried to keep calm all this time, guys. And I think I wasn't too bad considering what they'd put me through. And I was just like, I'm really sorry, can I please speak to your manager? Like, this is not on, this doesn't make sense. You know, you can't tell me you can't change my room after 4 days when you've been refusing, when your team, like not you per se, have me. She was just like, oh yeah, she hung up on me. The lady hung up on me. I was just like, she hung up on me. And I was just like, you know what? Because all the time, like, it wasn't something like major, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't something like, oh my days, I need to change the room. It was, if the option is available, I would like to take it, or at least be considered for it. And the lady, the first person I spoke to, already said that there could be a cost, so at least let me know how much it costs, and let me be considered for it if I can change. And I was just thinking, for people, you know, there's some people who could be in a room like this who would really struggle with the idea of not being able to open the window. And I know some people wouldn't have a problem with it, but some people would really struggle with it. And you're only given, you know, 1 or 2 times where you can go out and have a walk for 10-15 minutes. So yeah, anyway, she hung up on me, and I said, you know what, I'm not gonna stress about it, because by this time I was getting used to the hotel, and I was like, oh, it's okay, you know, seeing the positives and using the time for myself, trying to relax, trying to think about stuff, like watching movies. I was just relaxing, you know, and I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna deal with this now. I'm gonna take some time out to reflect on it, and then after I leave quarantine, if I choose to, you know, make a complaint or choose to follow it up further, I will. But at the time, at the moment, I just don't want somebody to ruin my peace, because I have been, you know, quite peaceful and enjoying this, not enjoying, but like, you know, feeling comfortable and seeing the positives. So it just seemed like it wasn't worth the fight at that time. I was like, it's just going to disturb my peace. So I let it be. But I think at the point I think in between when I was waiting to call her, I was waiting for her to call me back, because she'd also said the second time, or like again, talk to the hotel. I said, let me try and talk to the hotel. So I called the hotel and I said, oh, I spoke to somebody before, and they said there was an option to upgrade. Like, this is the struggle I'm having. Do you have any rooms which are bigger? And they were like, unfortunately, all of our rooms, the windows don't open, and we don't have any bigger rooms. The only bigger rooms we have are those that have got, you know, more beds suitable for a family. So I'm sorry, that wouldn't be an option. And I was like, oh, but somebody did say that you've got, you know, bigger rooms with more space, but you may need to pay for it. And he was like, no, I'm sorry. And I was like, are you sure? Can I speak to the manager? He was like, I am the manager. So I was just like, you know what? I choose not to take this any further right now. Let me enjoy my peace. Let me go watch my movie. I'm just gonna chill. So that day, that's how I left it. That's how I left that story. Like, I know I could have gone further. I know I could have complained some more. But I just thought, you know what? Let me enjoy my peace. Plus, my food is coming tomorrow. I think it was the day before my food was coming. So my friend was already saying the food is coming, and it was okay. Like, we're just like, it's cool. Like, you know, it's not the end of the world. Like, it wasn't that much of a big deal for me. It was just an option I wanted to explore. So then comes the next day. I was chilled. I was just like, yeah, my food is coming today. So I'd taken my mind off of it. I was excited about my friend delivering the food. And the woman had come. I think, had we tried it out? No, we hadn't tried it out yet, but I was just excited. I had other things to focus on. Then I get a call in the morning, I think around 11. It's like, hello, madam. I'm calling from the hotel. And I was like, oh, how can I help you? He was like, oh, I understand that you inquired about a large a room with more space. And I was like, yeah. And then the person was like, yeah, it appears that a room has become available. A room? And I was like, what do you mean? I was told that the only large rooms that you have are the family room. So are you telling me that there's more beds in the room? Because obviously that's gonna be still squashy, like, considering how small the hotel room is. And it was like, no, and I was like, do you mean it's one bed? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, one bed with space? Because I was just shocked, because you told me, or your team manager told me, that does not exist in this hotel. And I was like, I've seen your and I thought, oh yeah, yesterday when not yesterday, as in the day before, when I'd actually spoken to them, I was like, I've seen your signs. It says that you've got bedroom suites. And obviously, like, most hotels have like standard room and a suite, and I'd seen their signs, so I did challenge them on that, and they were like, no, unfortunately, sorry. Then, and now they're telling me that it's available. I said, okay, how much is it? It's like, it'll be £100 addition a night. No, it'll be £100 addition. I was like, per night. And it's like per night. I was like, I was like, I refuse for you to ruin my peace. My food is coming today. That was my drama story, and I left it there, and I have since left it there. Don't know what I'm gonna do about it, but at least the fact that I've shared it and I've vented it out to my family and friends made me feel better. It was just an option I wanted to explore, but I do feel for people who, like, if that wasn't, like, if they really struggled, or like they were really nauseated to the point that they were vomiting or something like that, that would really be a struggle. And I tried to explain some of these things to them, but no. So the service on the hotel wasn't bad, I must say. Like, generally when I call reception, they're excellent, they're really good. If it's around meal times, they take long to answer, so I've learned to call them when it's not between meal times. They'll answer and they're very polite. But that manager at that time was just like, no, sorry, it doesn't. And I was just like, okay, what can I do? If it's not there, it's not there. And to then call me and then try and charge me £100 a night extra when we're already paying thousands of pounds to be in this room. Like, it was just like, yeah, I was like, it's not worth it. And it was day 5, I think. It's not worth it. It is what it is. But yeah, sorry, that was my long drama story, but that's what happened. So yeah, so that's what's been going on so far. But I have used this time to my advantage. As I said, I have been, just watching some movies, relaxing, doing what I need to do, and just, yeah, the time is coming close to the end, and yeah, I'm just making the most of the opportunity, not having to travel to work, not having to cook, not having to clean as much. Like, that's all time that I have. And so yeah, and I'm able to have my Bible time, my time without rushing in the mornings, reading my word and things like that. So that is my drama story and how I have become more comfortable in quarantine.